We're the largest snacking company in the world.
That everyone in the business is a leader and have a role to play.
So it just naturally made sense that, my career would progress.
And I wish someone had told me when I was in high school that that was an option.
It's all about maintaining relationships and
have such a wide array of academic backgrounds in the CCAS.
A strong network of women here to help you.
Well, hey guys, so today we are joined by Noor, who is a graduate engineer for Saab. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you for inviting me, Rebecca. I'm glad to do this interview and help people out.
Awesome. Well, just firstly, for those who don't know, what does Saab actually do? Because I think a lot of people probably think that it's a car company, but I don't think you're an engineer for cars in particular. So what is it that you actually do there?
Yeah, so just to give a general idea about Saab as an organization, first of all, Saab Group is an industry-leading systems provider for defense, civil and security projects. They do worldwide projects. They have over 17,000 employees worldwide, but here at Saab Australia, which is an Australian company, it's a subsidiary of the Swedish-based Saab Group. And we do also have a home for diverse array of people and products as well. So again, similar kind of defense-related projects, civil, security-related projects. So we do a range of different things and a lot of different products and services as well we provide, including cybersecurity is a new one we're also starting to do a little bit more of. It's also an innovative and collaborative environment. They also encourage a lot of, exploring your potential and see where you can find and try to grow. So they've got a lot of opportunities and try to grow in different fields as well. So definitely not cars. So moving away from cars, but a lot of other things other than cars.
It's the sort of the first thing you think about, but then, the defense side of things is amazing. So how did you end up at Saab and, what do you do as a graduate engineer there?
So how I ended up at Saab was, first of all, actually, I did in my penultimate year at university, so my fourth year out of 5 years, which I did, I actually did an internship here at Saab. And what I did was I went into the professional services team, which was cybersecurity related. And because I did my honors project at university related to cybersecurity, and then when I came here, I actually got involved with some industry exposure on how things are actually happening and what the industry does to protect people and try to make sure systems are safe, and the whole range of security assessments that they do and everything else in between. And when I did that, it was actually quite interesting to find out, Saab is not just is it just a defense company or is it a company that just builds cars? It was I was actually exposed that they do a whole bunch of different things. And then when they told me about the graduate opportunity and they mentioned it, that we do have a graduate program. But then when they said you could actually revolve in different parts of the business, so you rotate throughout the different sections, that was oh, wow. So I've done all these studies, but then I can apply all these other different areas and skills and try to different projects and see, because sometimes some people don't know where they want to go. And then just getting that exposure, because if you're capable, yes, you can do it, but it matters if you also like it or not. So that was really good. And that's how I ended up here. So they invited me back. And as a graduate, I was after I finished an internship program, and I was yeah, that's actually pretty good. Yeah, I'll take up that role. And then I'm here, finished my first year nearly. Quite enjoying it so far. So yeah, a lot of challenges, a lot of learning, which is always good, because some of these things can be quite complex, the problems that you get faced. So
yeah. Have you had a favorite moment so far?
Well, my favorite moment so far would be, it was actually interesting because the first thing which they asked me after I finished my internship program was, what did you like about Saab? And the one thing I said was actually, you know what I like? It's the culture. It's yes, you've got all these interesting projects and type of work and stuff that you do, but it's more about the people there and they're willing to help you out. So my favorite moment here would be the fact that I was able to complete as a graduate, I was able to contribute to a little piece of software that's actually going to be helping out so many other people, not just outside Saab, here at Saab, and also people from in the defense and Navy and so on. But to being able to complete that as a graduate and being able to contribute significantly, and obviously I wouldn't be able to do that by myself, but because I had that supportive culture, I was like able to contribute and always like asking them questions and getting that help. So
Yeah.
but I grew a lot. And yeah, so my moment would be the fact that I completed like this my last project, which is really complicated and complex, but with the help of everyone around me and my team, I was like, wow, so I've actually managed to do all this. But yeah, so some of the things, it's quite challenging, but quite rewarding as well. So once you do manage to finish it, and with the help, you can actually do it. So it's quite cool.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, sometimes you think, oh, if I'm a graduate or an intern, do I just get like the sort of filing work? But no, like you're actually like making
Yeah,
a big difference, and
yeah,
it's so satisfying and rewarding.
yeah, definitely.
What do you think influenced you to sort of go down this career path in the first place? Like looking back at high school, what did you think you'd be doing once you left?
Yeah, so thinking back, like what influenced me back in high school when I left was um, the fact that, say, when I was in year 10, I was like, oh, I want to be like a doctor, and then like when I got exposed to like went to a few different, they do excursions, so it gives you exposure of, oh, these are what doctors do, this is what the medicine field is like. And then that kept me thinking, like, do I actually really want to do this? And then that's where I jumped ship halfway through year 11. And then because I was interested in science, I was like, and who doesn't find the universe fascinating? So like they tell you these facts and like, I want to know more. So actually the science was that got me involved in the first place, got me excited about it. And then that allowed me to follow and through to an engineering degree. And that's what made me decide that it was the fact that I was interested in the science world and, like curious about it. And like I enjoyed problem solving. That was another thing. So I just find like you got this complex problem, you solve it, and it's quite rewarding at the end. So I was like, that's what pushed me towards going down this path.
Yeah, awesome. What advice would you give to students out there who may be sort of not sure what they want to do? What advice would you give them, and why would you sort of urge them to consider Saab as a future employer of choice?
So what advice I would give to students, and would be the first part of the question to that would be that always look, there's a lot of options out there, but you got to put yourself out there and try to be exposed and actually experience it in firsthand. So you might think this sounds good and stuff, but actually try to go out, and if there's like a career event or anything, just go talk to the people, try to get involved, try to go to the actual site if possible, some of the things I went to. And then when you actually get exposed, and if I hadn't done the internship, for example, that's one example of programs that Saab offers, then I wouldn't have known what it's like, and I wouldn't have probably considered it. But because it was just a 12-week experience, but it showed me like what they actually do, it's quite different to what you think they would do. So go out. And then there's other programs that Saab also have, which is things such as you've got substance schools program for high school students. You can get involved with that. That gives you an idea of the kind of stuff that we do. So there's also, you've got scholarships also you can get involved with. And there's also the internship, obviously, in the graduate program, which I went through myself. And when you go through these and you put yourself out there to actually apply and actually be like, oh, I want to try this out, is when you actually see what you want to do and what you don't want to do when you're unsure. So pick something and just go for it. And then either you find out it's something you like or you find out something you don't like. But if you don't do it, then you never know. You just be guessing, maybe I like it or maybe I won't.
Exactly. And I think it's also important to find a company that you enjoy working for too, because I'm sure there's so many within Saab, so many different avenues that you can go down as well. So if you do sort of start off in cybersecurity, for example, and think, oh, this is cool, but it's not really for me. Well, then, there are so many other things that you could also do within the company. So having that culture, like you mentioned in the beginning, that you love, it's why you go to work, and then, you can figure it out along the way as well. So
actually adding on top of what you just said, which is really good, is the fact that like initially I mentioned that Saab does a whole wide variety of products and like projects that they work on, but the fact that they're a global company plus they have this Australian version means you can you have that opportunity to jump from one project to another, just like I did. I was like a software engineer for my first year of my graduate rotation, and then now suddenly I'm an information security consultant. So you're completely different fields, like nothing related, but I still get exposure and industry experience in both of them. So it's like you've got this good culture which you can use, but then you can jump between projects if you actually think like, oh, this is, my skills are not good enough here, or I feel like I enjoy this other project a little bit more. I find it more interesting. So when you do get bored, you can actually move on, and they give you that opportunity, and they're quite flexible as well. So I would say definitely it's good.
Awesome. Well, we really appreciate your time today, and thank you so much for joining us.
No worries. Thank you, Rebecca.